Sri Adi Shankaracharya and Viveka Chudamani prays to the Guru. Swamin Namaste Nataloka Bandho Karunya Sindho Patitam Bhavabdho Mam Uddharatmiya Kataksha Drishtya Rijvati Karunya Sudha Vivrashtya. O Swami, O Master, O Guru, I bow down to you, Namaste, without any ego. Because whoever bends in front of you and bows down, you become his bandhu, you become his friend, his relation, his caretaker. So I bow down to you in all humility. I have fallen, patita, I have fallen. Where? Into this bhavabdhi, into this ocean of samsara, which binds you with ego and attachments. I have fallen into this trap, in this ocean, bhavabdho. Mama uddhari, please save me from this state of being caught in this ocean of samsara. Save me. How? By giving me one straight look from the corner of your eye. Just like the rains come in straight lines, so also just give me one straight look from the corner of your eyes. Have compassion on me, that's what he means. I don't need all of your attention. A little attention you give to this fallen fellow and you will redeem me, O Master. This is how, with such humility, Adi Shankaracharya bows down to his Guru and prays to him. His Guru gave him a job. He was just 8 or so when he left Kaladi in south, in Kerala, and walked all the way to his Guru near Narmada, which is in Madhya Pradesh. And when he met Govinda Bhagavad Pada, his Guru, the Guru was already quite old in the body. He was aging. And he had a worry in his heart. And the worry was that there were so many scriptures he had taken upon himself to translate into a simpler language, to explain them well so that common people could understand what these great Vedas and Upanishads contained. Because you just can't read it like a storybook. These are very deep. And without a guru, without a guide, you will not be able to navigate these Vedas and Upanishads. You will misunderstand them. So Bhagavad Pada, Govinda Bhagavad Pada, Shankaracharya's guru, took upon himself this task of getting these books in a way translated into simpler language, and also to explain the meaning, the depth of the meaning behind all these verses. And he was not finding any student who could do this. And as God would decide, Bhagwan Adi Shankara took avatar. As a young boy, he took sannyasa, walked all the way searching for a guru, and then met Bhagavad Pada, and then submitted himself to him, saying, "You may use me as you please." Bhagavad Pada had many disciples too, whom he had given this task of writing the commentaries on these scriptures. But it wasn't to his satisfaction. When this young Adi Shankaracharya came there in his teens and took up the task of writing these commentaries, after thoroughly testing Shankaracharya for his capabilities, finally Govinda Bhagavad Pada satisfied himself and then gave the job to Adi Shankaracharya. And by the time he was 16, he had finished commenting on all those scriptures that his guru had given. They became Shankara Bhashyams. We all have benefited from that. And not just that, he went on to write many other Prakarana Granthas, which are like additional reading or reference books, reading which you will be able to understand the original scriptures in a better way. All of 16. And today, Adi Shankaracharya's legacy is there for all of us to benefit from. Everybody must be grateful to such a guru like Govind Bhagavad Pada, who took upon himself a task that was impossible in those days. Remember, those were pre-Premamrita Prakashana days. You didn't have printing presses, you didn't have computers, softwares, no, nothing. In a cold cave by the Narmada river, in an old ashram, all these mendicants and monks were living, young boys with that old guru, and were going on writing and writing on those tamra patras, the leaves, the palm leaves. And they would write, and if you want to make another copy, you just can't cut, paste, and print. You have to rewrite the whole thing if you make a mistake. And then, if you want to make another copy, write again, without making a mistake. And this is how they propagated this knowledge under the guidance of their guru. So when Adi Shankaracharya took up this task, he simply followed whatever his guru said. He didn't think, is it possible for me to execute this task? Am I capable of it? Would it be possible for me to do it in the perfect way, to the satisfaction of the guru, and as it should be? Will I fail in my duties? All these anxieties did not bother him, because he simply submitted to the guru as an empty instrument. Like a pen. Pen has no mind of its own. It doesn't write on its own. The holder of the pen writes it. The writer, the author writes using the pen. Like that, he submitted himself as a pure instrument, saying, redeem me in some way or the other. And his redemption came through this seva that his guru gave. You do this and you shall be redeemed. And now rest is history. He himself became a Jivan Mukta Jnani, and then he went on propagating Sanatana Dharma, Advaita, more than anything else. Sanatana Dharma had many various streams of philosophies and schools, but the need of the hour was to teach about oneness of all creation and not just about philosophies and all other mythology and scriptures. To unite people as one in divinity was his task. And he gave Advaita Siddhanta. He explained it so succinctly that anybody who reads it today, you can understand. In fact, his commentary on any of these scriptures, if you read, he gives a different perspective altogether, in another way. And as Bhagavad Gita commentaries, you can read, his Upanishads commentary, you can read. He gives a different perspective. Many times we miss the point, we miss that view, but he gives that. And this kind of work he did at a very, very young age, which many old scholars could not do it. Why he could do it? What was special about him? Nothing really big special other than that he just submitted himself as a hollow instrument to the Guru, saying, I am here to do your will. Use me as you please. I have no mind of my own. I have no plans, no ambitions, no backup plans also. I am here for you and you alone. Do what you want with me. And to his Guru's satisfaction, he did the job. And this is the story of every Guru and Shishya in our Indian traditions or in any tradition of the world. Whenever a Guru has blessed the Shishya who is totally surrendered and who has submitted himself or herself completely to the divine, to the Guru, without holding anything for himself or herself, that is when such amazing transformational incidents, transformational works have happened in the world. So our story is not different from the story which is just now I mentioned. Tasks seemed insurmountable, almost impossible, undoable, and anybody could get anxious just thinking about what was to be done. But it is only pure instrumentation, nimitta. When such an instrument is found by a Guru, the Guru can do anything in this world. And this is the story of every disciple who submits in complete surrender to the Guru. That disciple himself becomes a Guru in times to come. And this is our story too. It's very emotionally, very intensely put by all the people in their own ways. The three wise men, as they told. Sometimes they were also called the three musketeers. And even worse, three monkeys. Depends on the mood of Bhagavan. So, they were the ones who traveled. Actually, 5 of us traveled. 3 of them, me, and 1 without the body, you know who. So we all traveled country to country, homes to homes. I can't even imagine. If you ask me to do it all over again, I don't know whether we can do it. But we were all mad. We were all kind of hypnotized in a state of, I don't know, looked like delirium. You see, you just don't know what's going on. You're just following, follow the master. That's it. Wherever he goes, just follow. Without thinking whether it is possible, not possible, tickets will be available, visa will come, will somebody receive us in a respectable way, would we be able to convey what we have to convey? None of these things bothered us. We just went on and on and on till a certain point in time, and then it kind of slowed down because everybody also had other tasks to do. Our Srinivasji had hospitals to build, Narasimhaji had education mission, and Tigray took upon the mission of spreading the word of God in terms of these books which you just now saw, Sanatan Dharma and Uvacha series. All these works started by Mr. Tigret. And all of them were in a different zone. They were so submitted and surrendered to Bhagavan that the thing mattered to them. They didn't think is this the age to do all these things? Is this what they should start at this age after all? Would they be able to even achieve it at this age when they begin such big projects? None of these things bothered them because they had submitted themselves to the Guru. That's it. That's the end of all discussions. So because of that submission and surrender only all this has happened. Nothing, there's no secret recipe to it. Whenever a disciple surrenders himself or herself to the Guru in fullest, in completeness, that is when all this magic starts happening. And these are stories. Today it may sound very, when we talk every day, we see each other, we do things, it's become as the new normal for us. It does not excite or it does not surprise or stun us anymore because this has become our way of life. But 100 years down the line, there will be people who will read these books, who would watch these videos, who would hear these stories, and they are the ones who are going to be stunned. They are the ones who will be inspired. And who knows, hundreds of them may take to this path, maybe thousands, maybe millions, because they have been inspired by an act of surrender and submission, which is the highest that humans can achieve. To surrender completely to the Guru or God is the highest achievement of human birth. There is nothing that you can do more than that. With every cell of your body, every thought, every word, every action, you completely submit and surrender to the divine, to that divine Guru, and you will become divine. Brahma Veda Brahmaiva Bhavati. You will become God because you get to know God. An iron gets magnetized and becomes magnet. Philosopher's stone touches a piece of metal, it also turns it into gold. Likewise, the Sishya who submits to the Guru becomes a Guru. And you don't have to ask whether it has happened any time before. How does it happen? Show me the proof. You have proof sitting in front of you. You can't deny that. And whether you want to know, I am really a master, just look around what's going on. And look within also. And you will know there is a proof for everything. I don't have to prove it to anybody. But whatever task was given, we simply bowed our head down and said, Namaste. We bow down to you. We surrender to you. All we expect is to do your will. All we expect is to do your will to your satisfaction. As you want. And that is why all these wonderful things come up. I'm not saying we did not make mistakes. Let me also tell you. We did make mistakes. We sometimes might have fallen short. Why might? We have fallen short. But every time we fell, we rose again. We didn't give up. Uttishtata, Jagrata, Prapya Varan Nibodhata, Kshurasya Dhara Nishita Duratyaya, Durgam Patastat Kavayo Vadanti, it says. Arise, awake, and stop not till you reach the goal. And walking this path is like walking on a sharpened razor's edge. It means a little distraction and you'll cut yourself. That is what the people from old times have said, is what the Upanishad tells. Who says this? Yamadharmaraja tells Nachiketa that this path of spirituality, which is basically submitting to your spiritual master, is not a cakewalk. It's not a bed of roses, not even a bed of thorns. It is a razor's edge, and that too Nishita, sharpened razor's edge. It's really, really sharp. But the one who surrenders and whose focus is only God will not deviate and get distracted, will not cut himself. In fact, he will be happily able to walk through this whatever path of fire and reach the other end. It is possible. So when 2019, Bhagavan told me, and again I'm talking to you as a family because whenever I see all these faces, I know all of them because I have been to their countries, met them there many, many times. Now they are here at our home, this home of the divine. And we are all sitting like a family, talking to each other like members of family. So I'm just sharing. On the eve of 2019, 19 July, when I was to undertake this task, till then I was just like another one of you, just following the master, doing whatever was asked to do. And I had some insights and certain, can't call it powers or siddhis, but certain things that come with what you do. These were the tools and probably techniques that you need to do what you were doing. So it was all bestowed upon me. But I never used it to my advantage or for simply fulfilling somebody's wish or doing some help to somebody. Unless it was told by Bhagavan, I would not use any of these things. I would simply keep quiet. That is the time he called all the three of them. I remember that morning of 19th, he called three of them, but the previous night he told me that be ready. And whenever he told this word, be ready, I always had shivers down my spine. I knew something big is coming and this is going to be beyond me. He just said, be ready. So that word itself told me that something is planning to do tomorrow. And then in the morning he said, keep 2 chairs. Then I got a hint. He said, keep 2 chairs. And he himself had got these chairs made. This one, the gold one, and the other was a silver one. And then he told, keep the chairs by the side of each other. I said, okay, I'll get it done. But I knew one chair, we knew it's for whom is the other chair. And no guesses now, because we knew he was up to something. And that was pushing my limits. See, it was very easy to just shadow him or just walk behind. But it was very difficult to lead. Suddenly you are, whatever, the one whom you depended on, suddenly he says, no more you can depend on me. You just have to be independent now. And actually independent, he pointed, in means the inside. You have to be independent and do what needs to be done. It was very scary, to tell you the truth. I was not comfortable at all. Almost, I jumped out of my skin at the very announcement that you have to sit on the next chair. And I thought, what was the reason for my fear and anxiety? Was it because the chair was too tall, I wouldn't be comfortable? Not at all. Was it that people will start now looking at me as another master, and I know what masters go through. I've seen his life. It was not all bed of roses, let me tell you. It was a very difficult life that he led. Was I ready to lead a life like that? That scared me. Was I ready to take up the responsibility of these many people's lives? Was I ready to accept them as my very own and do everything in my might for their spiritual as well as material welfare? Do I have that bandwidth? Do I have that capacity? These thoughts started worrying me. My own capacity and deservedness was something that I wasn't sure of. And that was not easy. Let me tell you, many people have looked at that incident from different points of view. Some even went on to say it's blasphemous or whatever. But for me, it was a very, very difficult experience. But the only thing that made me do whatever we did was because we had submitted to him that we will do anything that you say. The last thing I could do in my life was to say no to him. And he knew that. They say man's prayer is, a prayer is devotee's strength and God's weakness. But saying no to him was my weakness. And that is the strength he had. He knew that he can get anything out of me if he asks. I may dilly-dally, but I will do it. So he told, time is coming, you must go. And in the morning, just go and sit on that chair. I said, I just can't do that. I'm not equal to you. I'm not even a fraction of you. How do you expect me to sit there and make the whole world think that I have thought too much of myself? It's just not possible. That is the time when I analyze what is stopping me, and I realize my own individuality is what is stopping me. What will people think? What will they say? Will it lead to confusion? Will it lead to chaos? Will people, start becoming angry? Will they object to what is going on? Will they become against us? So many of these thoughts crowded my mind. But at the end of it, as I said, the only thing that has kept us in good stead is bow down your head and simply look at his feet and follow. Don't look around, because he may be walking high peaks, he might be going into deep ravines, he might be walking on fire. Just don't look around, because the moment you look around, you'll get overwhelmed. So I learned that. Just look at him and just follow, so that you don't get distracted. And that is how we have come this far. In fact, physically it has happened when he had sent me long back to Hemkund Sahib, that is in the Himalayas, you see. And from there you go to Badrinath and all that. And I am not used to this much of physical work. That is a trek of 70 kilometers up in the Himalayas with thin air, and without that kind of physical fitness, going up and down was not easy. And you do it over 3 days, of course, not in a single day. But even a single day or 20-kilometer trek was not my cup of tea. So we started off on the trek, and first evening you have to reach a certain place. But to reach that place, I felt that I'll collapse, because it wasn't my cup of tea. And we were almost 2 p.m. or 2:30 p.m. in the afternoon. We're trekking from morning 7:30 or 8. And by 4 we must reach the place, because it'll become dark, it'll start raining. You have to reach that camp. And I lost all my strength. I was fainting. It was getting dark. And I was just having no strength. And I sat down on a piece of rock. And I said, I just can't move from here. Because I'm so tired. My legs are shaking. I have no energy left. And eyes are closing. My body is drooping. I cannot take it. And in my mind, I told Bhagavan, it's not my cup of tea. I think I will rather go back, because that might be easier to go back in next 2 hours. I may run and go back, but I going another 2 hours up, I'm not going to do. And I just sat down, and he just appeared there. I still remember, in a white robe he appeared. Fresh, always fresh. And he tells me, Endu kurchuna, why are you sitting? Why are you sitting? I said, I cannot walk. That is it. This is the end of my trek and trip. I am going back. He said, no, na ventara. He said, come behind me. And he started walking. And the moment he got up, it's out of reverence. We are not, if our master gets up and walks, you don't sit and relax there. You sit up and run behind, right? So it was my natural instinct to just get up and walk. Imagine somebody with a stick and everything. I was saying I cannot walk. The moment he appeared and started walking so fast, I instinctively got up without any effort and walked the next 2 hours behind him, just watching him. I did not know where he's taking me. And we reached the camp. The first evening's camp. That was a lesson for me. That the moment he leads, follow. Do not delay. Do not worry. Whether you are capable, not capable, where he's taking you, just don't worry. When a guru tells you walk behind me, just walk. That is the submission and surrender he wanted from me, and that is exactly what I want from you. Submitting and surrendering to him should become our very nature. We should not have anxieties, we should not have fear, we should not have worries. It all shows that we are not yet surrendered, that's it. When we surrender to Guru, all these should disappear. Now you may ask, so what happened another time? Were you able to remain in this state forever? No, because every time the task gets bigger, the terrain gets steeper. So every time you have to build your strength. But he knows how to build it gradually, your spiritual strength. So when we came this far, it's only because we simply wanted to follow. And one day he just left me in the middle of nowhere. That was the July of 2019. It said, now you are on your own. I have taught you everything that I needed to teach you. You will do good, don't worry, just go ahead. I said, but what about if I need some help, if I get confused, if I need guidance? He said, don't worry, I'm there inside you as your very intuition. The intuition within you is the most selfless thought. That's how you can think of intuition. It's most selfless thought. I am there within you. Just follow that. Don't worry, don't fear. Everything will be okay. Despite that, there are so many times when I sat down and prayed saying, please come, because he had promised me, anytime I think of him, he will come. Despite this, sometimes I could not trust the intuition. I asked him, please come and tell me, confirm that this is what exactly needs to be done. And sometimes he came and confirmed, yes, it is. Why do you keep on asking me? Just go ahead. Sometimes he even told me, no, see, recheck with your heart. Is this really what needs to be done? And I checked. Sometimes I realized, no, I'm doing it out of compulsion because I've become emotional about somebody whose problems are very bad and I feel like helping. But actually it is the karma also. I shouldn't interfere. Sometimes he has warned me not to interfere. So many lessons on the way. These 5 years journey has been a very unique one. I think this is the journey every soul will be on at some point in time or the other. I tried to capture what I could in the book. Of course, the book does not do justice. It only captures, it's more of writing by eliminating most of the things than by selecting, because that's all can be fitted into a couple of pages. But this journey of Jivatma to Paramatma is the journey through submission and surrender. Anything less than that would not suffice. Even one cell of your body, you want to keep it for yourself. Even one day of your life, you want to reserve for your own sake. Even one thing, material or otherwise, you want to retain it for some anxiety or worry of the future. Surrender is not complete. It's either 100% or it is 0%. It's a binary. It's not 50%, 70%. I'm 60% there. This doesn't work. If you're not 100% there, you're not there. Simple as that. You're at 0 only. Because the next number that comes in surrender from 0 is 100. There are no numbers in between, no scale, no meter. It's either 0 or you jump to 100. Anything less than that is not surrender. So this is the surrender that is Gurus ask as a Guru Dakshina. And that if any one of us, all of us can do it, let me tell you, our lives will be so beautiful, light, effortless, and full of bliss. Just now they chanted from Anandavalli or somewhere in Chaitanya Upanishad that what is the joy that a man is capable of achieving. And it says, if the man yuva syat sadhu yuvadhyayakaha ashishto barishto dridishto balishtaha tasyayam prithvim sarvam vittasya purna syat. It says if a man is young and able-bodied without any diseases, very strong and handsome, and he owns the whole earth and all the wealth in the earth, that is equal to 1 unit of human joy. This is some kind of mathematics the Rishi does. 1 unit of human joy is if you own the whole of the earth and all the wealth in it. Imagine you have to be better than Elon Musk and Bill Gates and everybody. Ambani's recently. And you should be young, you cannot get old. And you should be healthy, you cannot get sick. And you should be very able-bodied and handsome and strong. Only if you're all these, then you compare it to 1 unit of joy, let us say. That's called Manushananda, 1 unit of human joy. So what is divine joy? The Rishi goes so beautifully. 100 of these joys, units, 100 units of this is Manushya Gandharvanam Ananda. The Gandharvas are there, one more level above humans. These are demigods kind of people. Their joy is like that because they never age, they never fall sick, they never hungry, they never tired because they don't belong to the body. So they live this kind of life. They're very wealthy. Yakshas, Gandharvas and all that. So that is the joy. 100 units of human joy is equal to 1 Manushya Gandharvana. Then after that is Deva Gandharvana, which is another multiplied by 100. Then Pitru Chiraloka Lokana Mananda, your Pitrus who are living in better worlds, not the fallen Pitrus, but those elevated ones, their joys. Then from there is there is a hierarchy, it goes all the way to Devanam, then Indranam, then Brahaspatiranandaha, Prajapatiranandaha, finally Brahmananda it comes to the ultimate joy of the divine self, which I calculated is 10 to the power 20 times of human joy unit. That's the Upanishadic way of telling you what it is to be experiencing the divine joy compared to this human joy, which they don't even consider if you are not young and healthy and don't own whole earth and all the wealth in it. They don't even consider. That is 1 unit of joy. 10 to the power 20 times is the joy of being a divine being, the Rishi says. But there is a simpler way too, he says. You don't have to become Ambanis and Adanis and all that. What is the other? Shrotriyasya cha akamahatasya. Every time it repeats. Every time it repeats. After every time it says 100 units of this is equal to 1 unit of that. It says the other option is Shrotriyasya cha akamahatasya. Become a Shrotriya, become a learned person, learned in scriptures. Learned means not memorizing it, but understanding the scriptures, experiencing the scriptures. Akamahatasya. And cha akamahatasya. It's not or, it is and. Know the truth of the scriptures, experience it, and have no desires. Akamahata. There is no desire in you for yourself. Desire for welfare of the world might be there. Desire for attaining God can be there. But no personal desires. No selfish desires. Achieve this, you achieve the same thing. You achieve the 10 to the power 20 times this Ambani plus Adani plus Elon Musk plus Bill Gates plus all their joys put together is equal to 1 work, which is to become learned in scriptures, that is experiencing the truth of scriptures which you are hearing every day. What are the scriptural truths? Aham Brahma, Sarvam Brahma. All these truths you experience and have no desires whatsoever. If you achieve this, you achieve the same joy as all these gods and demigods and their bosses and everybody till Brahman, who is the supreme Godhead. They all experience the joy because they have experienced the truth of the scriptures and they have no desires for themselves. So may I ask you, a Guru Dakshina again. You must be wondering, this Guru is getting too demanding by the day. But what am I trying to achieve? I am trying to make you akamahata. I am trying to achieve at least 50% of this equation, which is become desireless. Desireless means you have no desires for yourselves. So they have no attachment, no fears, No worries, because there is nothing to desire, so there is no worry. Only desire binds us. Desires make us weak. If you have no desire, you are courageous. You are selfless, you are courageous. Desires make us weak. So this is the call to become bold and strong by shedding all the desires. Have desire for good of all. We also have desires to build the hospital so that more good can happen. To children can get food, education, health, good desires. We work for that. But we don't work in fear. We don't work in anxiety. We don't work in worries. Just like when we are raising our own children and we worry whether this fellow will turn out to be a good or a bad fellow. Should I make this much investment in this fellow at all? We worry about our own. When we raise our children, we have 101 questions. But we don't ask these questions. We just do because that is what needs to be done. That's divinely ordained. We don't work in fear. So that is the idea of akamahata. Become that. That is what will be given to you through your service opportunities. You can become akahamata. Every desire is for the welfare of another. Why should I wake up in the morning, dress up and show up? Because I have service to do at the hospital. I'm a doctor, I must treat the patients. I'm a teacher, I must teach the students. I'm a cleaner, I must keep the premises clean. Or I'm an electrician, make sure everything is working. Or I'm a plumber, make sure all the pipes are good. Whatever you are waking up only to do good to others. You are akahamata still. That's one way. So half of the job I'm doing for you by giving you the opportunity to become akamahata. The other half is shrotriya, learned in scriptures and experiencing the truth. See, that is your personal sadhana. I can teach you the scriptures. I can guide you through the scriptures. Like tomorrow we are starting the study of Ishavasya Upanishad. A very short Upanishad of just 18 verses, but very, very, it's like, it's a intense, it's a concentrated dose, high dose of Upanishads. Just 18 verses. We are going to do for 3 days. But that Upanishad and many more, I can teach you the scriptural truths. To experience the truth, you have to do sadhana. What is the sadhana? Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam. Hear it, contemplate on it, practice it. This part you have to do. I can't do this for you. I can serve the food, I can't eat for you. You have to eat for yourself. So this effort, one side, will make you a shrotriya. And akamahata, through all the organizational activities, you will become akamahata. Whether you are working here or in any other country of anywhere. Doing selfless service is the other side of it. Just do these two things. And you will experience the same effortless life that of God's. Full of joy, full of bliss. And that's your nature, that's our nature. We must reclaim it. Because we have forgotten, it's not lost to us, we just forgotten. Where did we keep it? We have not lost it. We haven't become poorer. We just forgotten where did we keep it. We find it, we become good again. That's all these scriptures and this seva can do for us. And this is possible for every one of you. When Bhagavan told, see, your title will be Sadguru. He himself chose. Now, it's up to others whether they believe in this or not. At least the people in this room will believe whatever I'm saying and believe the autobiography also, I hope. But I do not know others. But when he told his name will be Sadguru, it's a very uncomfortable title, because we are not used to such titles. Actually, I just being another alumnus coming from a regular academic background, suddenly you tell you have to be Sadguru, I start worrying, should I have to grow a beard and should I have to, I don't know, what shall I do? In fact, I did not even have a proper attire. I used to roam around in kurta pajamas and pants and shirts and safaris. Till one day he told, Idem bagledu, this is no good. You change. Then I said, what should I wear? Then he got me a dhoti to wear. We were going to Gulbarga and he told me, from my cupboard you take out one dhoti, an orange dhoti. I thought maybe in Gulbarga they forgot to keep dhoti, so he's asking me. I took that dhoti and went. Then when we were going for the function, he told, Katko means tie it. I said, what tie it? He said, this dhoti. I told, dhoti, I am not going to tie this dhoti. I am very uncomfortable with this traditional clothing, you see. I am very comfortable with, at least kurta pajama is doable. Dhoti and all is very difficult. So I was trying to dodge that. No, you tie it. Let's see. Choose thumb. Just let's see. Not like I want to wear and you to wear and go. Simply just see. Then I tied. Then he said, Chala Babundi, it's very good. Keep it on. Now, he's a guru. He knows how to get things done. So I tied the dhoti, and till today I'm uncomfortable. And then somehow I got some kind of a string or something and tied it tightly because I was not used to it. And then I went down not knowing how people are going to react. So they laugh at me. They will think what's wrong with him. I did not know what to do, but simply following. You see, my weakness and his strength. My weakness I'll follow nevertheless. Even if I cry, I complain, I'll follow. He knew that. So that's how first dhoti came on. And then from dhoti, one day somebody came and brought a shawl and said that just this attire is not looking complete, let us put a shawl on you. When they put the shawl, that shawl I showed, and he said, this is not looking good. A silk is better to get the silk done. That's how we got, and then now devotees have gone berserk about my clothing. So they keep offering whatever they think they can. And I only think maybe some poor weaver somewhere has prayed to God for some business, and that's how this is going on. Nevertheless, the idea was that we just followed. That's all I'm trying to say. We followed whatever he said. So that was not easy for me. Every step of the journey was difficult because everything was new and strange and unfamiliar and uncomfortable. But you are constantly pushed out of your comfort zones if you are with your guru. Till when? Till you become Shrotriya cha akamahatasya. You realize the scriptural truth and you realize your divinity through desireless service, selfless service for the sake of all. This is what everybody has to do sooner or later. The sooner, the better. The later, the worse. Because this is the opportunity for every one of us. So I only am trying to teach you what I have learned. I am only trying to make you experience what I have experienced. And when he told Sadhguru, he mentioned that you have to be a teacher to others. You cannot just be happy with yourself that you realize the self and now you are happy by yourself. You don't need to do anything. He said, no. You have to teach it to the others. And you know, all those who are teachers, what a painful job it is. If you're not a teacher, suppose you're a graduate, you get a job, you go move on in life, do what you want, it's very easy. But if you're put back to teach others who are unwilling, who are resisting, who are not submitting, it's so difficult to get them to do things. But the job of a guru or a sadguru is that to even convince those who are not willing that this is your path, this is what will give you joy, this is what will give you ultimate satisfaction. Put efforts, let's move, let's walk, I'm with you. And every time they fall, go pick them up, console them, give them the courage, motivate them, and again make them walk. And sometimes they walk away also, not just walk with or walk along. They walk away, then go behind them and catch them somewhere and then bring them back again. Sanmargamanu veedi charinche varala cheypatti kaapadute deeksha naku. It's my pledge that I will catch hold of people by hand and bring them back. It's not easy. I'm sure those who are running primary schools, they know how to keep 40 kids in a class is so difficult. You put one fellow in this place, the other fellow runs away. You get them back, this fellow is out. So getting into the wrong ways is very easy in this Kali Yuga. Wrong way means not like evil ways. Wrong way is simply not the way to God, way to the world. That's the wrong way, wrong turn. To keep them coming back and keep them motivating. And sometimes Vajradapi Katorani, sometimes have to become really, really hard and very harsh because they are not listening. To make them understand and drive some sense into their hard heads, sometimes I have to take that, they call Narsimha avatar, not Narsimha Murti avatar, Narsimha avatar, that I take upon myself once in a while. Because I have to make sure that they are walking on the right path. The moment a guru gives up on you, that's the end of your spiritual journey. Don't ever push your guru to the situation where he loses interest in your welfare and gives up on you. That is the worst day of your life. There cannot be a worse thing that can happen to you than the day when guru thinks of you that he or she is undeserving of my grace and love. Let me drop her or him. That is the end of all our lifetimes of efforts. So if a guru has happened to you, consider yourselves very, very blessed, because I keep repeating, parents can happen to everybody. To even insect, there is a father and mother and a grandfather and grandmother and great one. But to humans alone, gurus happen. And if amongst the billions of people, if you have been blessed to have a guru, take it seriously. Take it seriously. So that you utilize this opportunity and don't drive guru nuts. Don't drive him crazy by running away, running off, making him work extra hours to get you back onto the path. If you simply follow, your job is, my guru's job is done. So simply follow, that's all I'm saying. The Guru Purnima, Guru Dakshina, apart from all that you do is fine, is total submission, surrender to the divine. And do the divine will. Not your will, his will, her will, my will, every will. Just do the divine will. And because we are incapable of sometimes listening to the divine because of the chaotic mind, because of so many other thoughts, so Guru helps us. I call it GPS, Guru Positioning System. When you don't know the road, you are not sure right or left turn or next turn or the next to that, better put on the GPS and ask. And it works. It tells you where to go. And by mistake you miss the turn, the GPS recalculates the route and tells you. Of course you will reach 10 minutes late now because you had missed the turn. But nevertheless it recalculates and tells you, okay, come back. But if you just follow the GPS as it is in the first place, these wasting of time, energy, resources won't happen. You would be faster and you will be happier reaching the destination. So remember that Guru does not happen to everybody. If it has happened to you, you're very lucky. This is my parting note. Actually, the last lines of the book is this, that may a Guru happen to you, either within or without. May you also walk this path and may you also attain the highest. This is my prayer for all the readers who are reading this book. That is what I write at the end. May a Guru happen to you. May a business happen to you, profit happen to you, academic qualifications happen to you, may popularity happen to you. All that others will bless. Shatamanam bhavati shatayu purushashatendriya ayushevendriya pradirshati rochano rochamanam shobhano shobhamanam kalyanam bahuputra labham dhanadhanyam. All that they will bless you with. I don't want to give any of these blessings. Don't even expect this from me. If you ask me for a blessing, this is what I will tell. May that guidance of the Guru be there with you, so that you walk this path, you don't give up and you reach your destination. This is the only blessing I will give you. And if you tell me how do I do that, I will show you all these projects, service projects, and I will show you your bank accounts, and I will show you all your attachments, saying, see how much you have still. These attachments are the ones, these fears are the ones which are not letting you move forward. They are dead weight in your journey. Be fearless, be courageous. I'm not saying that if you have a role to play in the society, you have a duty, live accordingly. You should dress accordingly, move accordingly, stay accordingly, do accordingly. That is a duty. That is also a dharma, you're doing it. But beyond your need is what I do not agree with. And what is your need? You have to define. How much you need to eat to be happy? That you know. How everybody's appetite is different. So once you assess that, be courageous to sacrifice. Without sacrifice, this path cannot be walked. And what is the sacrifice? These are the sacrifices. Complete submission means complete annihilation of one's ego. That personality, that individuality, the complete merger of mind into God. That is when God takes over. Otherwise it will not happen. Let us not fool ourselves. Another 100 discourses I can give, another 100 gurus can come to you. But if you do not rise and follow, all that will be simply wasted effort. And this is the best time. I have somehow understood that this time in Kali Yuga is the best time to achieve this. And this is the best place to achieve this. And these are the best situations to achieve this. And these are the best people you can work with as co-travelers to achieve this. And this is the best Guru you can get it at this point. Somebody wrote to me for Guru Purnima, Swami, I submit myself, I pray to you. I'm so lucky that you are the top of the line Guru. This is what she wrote to me. Top of the line Guru at this point in time. Why? Because I am dead serious about your spiritual growth. I am not fooling around. I am not just having fun. I am very, very serious. That's why you also take it seriously. You also submit and surrender. You are also journey faster on this path. And the more of you become like me, or whichever way you like Bhagavan, we are all same. In the inside we are same, because we are just made of the same pure selfless love. Akamahatasya shrotriyasya, that's what we are. If you become, imagine what you can do for so many more. Each one of you will be another Sadguru. Each one of you will lead so many onto this path. But first you should walk the path, you should know the pitfalls, you should know the challenges of the journey. That's when you can guide others. So this is my job to guide you on this path based on my experience. And now it is your job to rise to the occasion, take it seriously, surrender, and become another teacher for so many more who are waiting. There is no other solution to the problem of the world. Spiritual knowledge is the only solution. But who will take it to them? Make them understand, make them walk, and catch them by hand and bring them back onto the path. Who will do this for them? You have to do this for them. This is my expectations from the graduates and postgraduates of a university. This is my expectations from the devotees and followers who have come from 60 odd countries. This is my expectation. So this is the only expectation I am entitled to have. I am not supposed to have any other expectations. As a guru, the only expectation I can have, I am allowed to have, is to expect the disciple also to follow and walk on this path. And this is my Guru Dakshina, true Guru Dakshina. If you do this, it's good for you only. I will not lose anything, I will not gain anything by it. But you will gain everything and you will lose everything if you do not follow. So do this, make this journey happy. Let us walk together, reach together, merge together. Let this joyful pilgrimage be full of beautiful, blissful experiences for all of us. And in the process, let us spread this joy, this knowledge to many more who are waiting, for whom Guru has not yet happened. But it can happen if some of you or all of you get ready. So they also will be redeemed. This is our job, redeeming ourselves, Atmano Mokshattam, Jagat Hitaya Cha. And also redeeming others, emancipating others also in the process of our job. Anything less than that is not our job. So let us keep on walking on this path. You have all the blessings. You have all the blessings. Now, if Bhagavan's blessing is there, he says it's like sun, it's available to all. You use it by opening the window, light will come inside the house. Otherwise, scorpions and snakes will reside in the dark. So use this blessing. Use this blessing. And I am so much more convinced because I have risen from that level which was full of misery and whatever individuality to a different level. So I know the difference from baseline, where I have reached, what happened to me, what is the benefit of it. Therefore I can talk so convincingly. See, Bhagavan was always there, you see. It was the reverse process. He came down. He never had to experience, need not have experienced the human problems. But he came down because like a father, has to bend to pick the child up, or a mother has to bend to pick the child up. But for me, I have grown from here to there. So I understand how good it is on the other side. How much beautiful, blissful and effortless is that life. So you also should experience, you also should enjoy. That is my whatever expectation, my desire. That's the only desire I can have. That you also should experience the same joy, same life, same bliss, so that you also remain happy and you can teach this to many, many more and help them also to become happier. That's how we create a better world. That's how we create a better society, better family, through better individuals. This is our path. Once again, I'm so happy to have all of them on the stage. It happened after 5 long years, and I'm very glad that these examples are still there for us to get inspired and emulate them. There will be hundreds of Srinivasas, thousands of Tigers, and millions of Narasimhurti. This is what is the future of this mission. And you people are there. These are all sitting there in this crowd somewhere. The replicas of us. You have to quickly realize it so that you can assist God in God's work of turning all humanity into God. This is your job. May you achieve this in this very lifetime, better sooner than later. May you live blissful, happy, effortless lives. May you be joyful all the time. May no sorrow ever touch you. With these words of blessings, I conclude the Guru Purnima celebration of today. Tomorrow morning, we'll meet again and we start the 3-day study of Ishavasya Upanishad. You'll have some preliminary program in the morning. Then I will come, I will explain some of the slokas. You can ask me questions in the afternoon and evening. Sometimes there are cultural programs, sometimes there are quizzes. Whatever it takes, the 3 days we'll be celebrating like this till we reach 25th evening, that is the World Orchestra. And after that we have the birthday celebrations on 26th, and the book will get released on 26th morning. It's still getting some last moment changes. Blessings to everybody. Please go, you have heard it, now contemplate on it and then practice it. This is when your study sadhana gets completed. Many blessings.
ओम जय जगदीश हरे स्वामी सत्य साई हरे भक्त जना संरक्षक भक्त जना संरक्षक पति महेश्वरा ओम जय जगदीश हरे स्वामी सर्वा प्राणपते आश्रितकल्पलतिका आश्रितकल्पलतिका आपद्बान्धव ॐ जय जगदीश हरे मातपिता गुरुदैवं मरियन्तयो नीवे स्वामी मरियन्तयो नीवे नाद ब्रह्म जगन्नाथ नाद ब्रह्म जगन्नाथ नागेन्द्राशयन ॐ जय जगदीश हरे ओंकार रूपो जस्वियो साई महादेव सद्गुरु साई महादेव मंगलारति अंदुको मंगलारति अंदुको मंगल गिरिधारी ओम जय जगदीश हरे नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण 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 ओम नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम जय सद्गुरुदेवा नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण 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 ओम नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम जय सद्गुरुदेवा नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण 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 ओम नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम जय सद्गुरुदेवा शांति 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 समस्त लोका सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्त लोका सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्त